Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 this Thursday, December 18th, and today was one of those roller coaster days for sure. Lots of good trading opportunities, but man, it was volatile for a bit there. So we started off this morning with a slight bias to the. Let me see. We started off this morning uh, looking for that reverse retest. Key area of resistance was if you're going to be able to hold this 68.12 to 20s. And the good part, we had CPI come out and it kind of blew through that whole thing. We were looking at these single prints as a potential trade early on. It was not really an opportunity because yes, kind of blew through that thing right at the news on the news reaction, and then it did back off and reverse retested this spot, the breakout point, and or the resistance area, so reverse retested as support, and it held, and then we are back up again. So we've been all the way up here to the 67.70 or 68.70s on the ES. So we're back in the range again. So the probe to the downside from yesterday did not materialize into anything significant, which I'll take as a good thing. But man, it's been volatile. So looking at the action here, today's trading, if I try to get this crunch together a bit, you can see here how crazy that has been. After the London close, to run it all the way down to the lower end of the range, and right back up again to the high, then right back down again. So yeah, that's roller coaster stuff, you know. That's not easy to trade, and I would not try to be too aggressive. But I mean, if you get in on good spots there, you definitely had an opportunity going. Now I did overtrade it a little bit, I have to say, not completely proud of that part, but because I had a few trades going, um, and I was after this London close, I was basically I was up a little bit, and I was down a bit, and I was back up again bit, and I was like up $20 or $19 here. Then I get into this one here. This is the last little trade. They started running this lower, and on the pullback here, that's like an intra-bar pullback here. One, two, repair it once. I had my stop outside that rotation, and you can see here they just freaking run me over on this one. That was not pretty at all. And there's not much I can do, but that thing here just put me down like to $70 down in the hole. And I figured, shit, I'll try another long trade after that. And I spent a little bit and then just kind of didn't go anywhere. So this was one of those FU moves. Run it down hard. And this retracement here is just nothing but crazy, you know. You can't sit in it and make it too big. You kind of have to just let it stop you out. And that's what I did. And then I tried a couple of more trades here. I was down to like 20 from 70. And then this last trade, I got down to plus 12 now, so that stops. Like, okay, I was down 70 and I'm up 12. I just wasted a bunch of round turns, but I'm not in a hole anymore. So, but man, that was crazy. So, but the rotations like this slop in the middle, you don't necessarily want to trade. But I was trying to trade this rotation down here back to the midpoint of the mean, so we had some range to go still. It wasn't really down at one of those levels yet, and until they just kind of absolutely reversed right back into my face in a violent way, and that was sucky. So there you have it. So, but had to kind of trade up a little bit of a storm there to get it back. A couple of extra trades I probably should not have taken a little bit too aggressive, but I was thinking that okay, so it didn't. First the short trade didn't work, then a long trade just stopped me out. Okay, fine. So that wasn't it shook me out of that trade. So they're not going to continue. So they're going to take it lower, but you can see how sloppy this move to the downside was. You kind of just have to be really nimble with it. So the Nasdaq way back here, so I'm back up 12 on that one. On the ES, I just took those two trades early on. One loser, one winner. I'm back to zero, and that's about it. So I didn't do anything else on the ES, but man, it's been some day, and the fact that they've been running it higher and lower, and then we're right back. So if I go back and really take the ES here and then turn it into see the whole day session, okay, hang on a bit, like that. Well, that's a little bit too, man. Maybe so. Yeah, there you have it. Here you have the whole session. You can see how crazy that was. So early on in the morning, a lot of freaking selling started kicking in. I tried a long trade on the retracement, and that it got stopped me out, so it didn't work. And then I tried a short trade on the pullback. That worked for a return trade. And then I kind of stopped at that point. I missed this whole move up, and I missed the whole move down because just watching it in disbelief. Like, oh crap. So you had to wonder if you're going to chase it or not. But when it runs like this, it just takes you by surprise. That's crazy stuff. Especially, and then the run down here, that's also crazy stuff. Now they had a shot at getting short up here against resistance. You're up against that upper area, the 68.70s, once, twice. I mean, at one point here, you can try a short trade. The first retest would have been pretty good, but if you didn't get out of that one, this last rotation up would probably shake you out of that trade, and that would have been one of those days where you're sitting in that trade for 20 minutes, 30 minutes just to get shaken out at the very end, and then before they actually run. So that you can just imagine frustration when you try to do that to get caught in a scenario like that. So anyway, so that's where we are right now on the ES and the Nasdaq. So we are up here again in the upper range. So ES capital flow, we are back to value. I'm going to fold this together. So we are back to the attractor on the Nasdaq. We are the same story. We are going into the weekend, I think. We are back to this attractor here at the 25,300. And so the volume edge here, key area, can it get back up above it? Yeah, right now in that churn area. See this whole area here, which is congestion, but they're back up reverse retesting. And so Nasdaq is kind of key here. If they're going to be able to take this higher, that means this whole move that yesterday was just a big flush of running out weak long positions or something. But I'm not going to quite assume that. I'm thinking that we've seen these days before when they run it down, then they run it hard up the next day. You can see a complete reversal going into tomorrow when they run it down to the lows and then lower. So we just had to wait and see and trade what we see. That's the only thing you can do. On the bond market, the news reaction was pretty violent this morning. Not super violent, but it was much better than expected news. I was expecting the long side to have a better shot, and we did have more strength on the long side, but not by any means enough to blow it out. So we're back in the range on the ES and Nasdaq, and on the bonds you can see reaction back and forth, kind of flopping around. The trade I tried to take was this guy back here towards the London close. I missed it. I clicked in that order just a little bit too late, and then it never filled me. This is the unfilled option on the top. Never filled me, but that would have been a nice trade back to the mode or even the mean. Could have been one of those two. But then again, the unfinished auction means you could have gotten filled at that level, the 28. I just clicked in my order a little bit too late, so it never really filled me. So there you have it. And that was back here when it's 11:30. But and again, you don't get filled, you don't get filled. So there you go. Nothing else to say about it. So back to the ES and the Nasdaq. Now on the bond, yes, you know, you had to be very deliberate. Because I mean, you're looking for the retest. So the first rotate in a reaction is just a reaction. No retest on the bottom, no retest on the top here, no retest. It took out the low, took out the high, took out the low. So this is nothing to work with. Just flipping back and forth. But you I mean, if you look at this the retest of this level, I mean, this is too aggressive. If you step in, you pretty much have to leave the limit order working and hope you get filled. But more than often you get caught in that trade. Same as you say, as you try to trade this retest, a good example. So you get short right here at the 14th, you immediately have fade 14th to heat, and that just stops you out. So you're looking for this kind of a setup: rotation, a retest, and it stalls, and then you're trying to get in at that point. And then finally, well, back to the ES and Nasdaq, and both of those two are just kind of flopping in the wind, right smack in the middle. So starting off range bound right now, looking to sell strength on both these. On the ES, I'm probably going to move my edge up to 68.60 and 68.70, and looking to buy against support down here at the 68.30, 25 to 30s, and then here at the 68.20s for rotations up. And on the Nasdaq, the edge is going to move up a bit to 25.410. And looking to sell strength up to that level. We're going to buy weakness down to that 170 level. Rotations back up. So that's kind of where we get started. All right, so tomorrow's news, what do you have? We got, it's a quadruple witching Friday, so options expirations. We have corporate profit, personal income and outlays at 8:30, so at 10. So we get the inflation read again tomorrow, personal income and outlays, and then existing home sales at 10. And consumer sentiment. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we get a ton of news come out. Nothing at 8:30 worth just corporate profits. But so 10 o'clock, we get the bulk of news tomorrow. And then we are right into the Christmas week. You believe that? Christmas week coming up. Christmas is going to be in the middle of the week, as you know. And we'll touch on that when we get closer to that next week. So, but anyway, so there we have it. So on the ES, two trades, yes, scratch on the NASDAQ, 12 round turns, up 1250. But that includes that last debacle trade when I got there. I was up like 20 and then I'm down 70. So I lost like almost $100 in that trade. And I had to work it all back again. And so when you do work it back, then you don't want to be, then you just kind of just take a step back, you know. You try to work it back, but if either you succeed, but if it looks like you're digging that hole deeper, then you just have to stop and just take your loss. So that is the hardest part of trading, when to quit trying to repair a day versus just saying, okay, I'm not going to dig this hole any deeper, you know. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. I'll see you back bright and early. It's Friday, so thank God it's Friday. Later, guys. See you tomorrow. Later.